Well, hello. Hello, I'm JB Kaufman. I'm a film historian and author. I basically cover the field of American films of the silent and early sound years. Uh, Basically, all of what I've published to date has been about either the history of Disney animation or the history of American silent films. And in one case, both, because Russell Merritt and I collaborated some years ago on a book about the silent films of Walt Disney. And in fact, that was the project that kind of opened the door for lots of other projects. And it happened here in Pordenone at Le Giornate del Cinema Muto. They published the book, and things kind of took off for us from there. And that was my introduction to the Giornate, which is as probably anybody watching those, if you care at all for silent film, the Giornate is pretty much the mother church. This is where you want to be, because you can see everything from the textbook classics to the latest scraps and fragments and rediscoveries and restorations. This week, for example, we've been seeing some films that were long considered lost and have now been restored, or that were available in less than ideal condition and now have been upgraded. So this is the place to be if you love silent film, and many of us do love silent film. In my own case, my connection here started with Walt in Wonderland, the book about the Disney silent films. But it has gone on from there to cover a range of other things. I think one of the highlights was what they call the Griffith Project. And this is something that maybe couldn't be done anywhere else in the world except this festival. The Griffith Project was an ambitious plan to screen every one of D.W. Griffith's surviving films. And being that this festival takes place once a year and lasts a week each year, it took 12 years to get through all of Griffith's surviving films. But it was a wonderful thing, especially for the biograph period. I like to think that we really kind of did a lot to establish a roadmap through the biograph years, which of course were so productive, and in which Griffith was so prolific. It's a period of vital importance in film history, and because there are so many hundreds of films involved, it's been really difficult for scholars to get their arms around it until that project happened. And I was very, very happy to be a part of that. And in the meantime, I have been pursuing my own research on the actress Blanche Sweet. And there was a big overlap there, because Blanche was one of the first actresses who went to work for Griffith, or not one of the first, but one of the most important actresses who went to work for Griffith at the Biograph Company. So she was there at pretty much the dawn of storytelling on film, and went on from that to a stellar career. It's been largely through my connection with the wonderful folks here at the Giornate that I've been able to pursue this research on Blanche and her career. Apart from that, if you care at all for any aspect of silent cinema, this festival is the place to be. And my hat is off to them for the magnificent job they've done of maintaining a high standard of showmanship and scholarship and just diversity of programming, sometimes against pretty amazing odds. They have managed to thrive on a very limited budget. And this year, of course, 2021, we're still dealing with the pandemic. They have managed to stage a festival this year that fully observes all of the health requirements for doing a public event while the pandemic is still going on, and still provide a wonderfully rich and rewarding film viewing experience for the silent film audience. Um, one of the revelations for me this year, they're doing a retrospective on a German actress named Ellen Richter, with whom I was not familiar at all, but she was a really important figure in German silent cinema, and this year important figure in German silent cinema, and this year we're getting a really comprehensive look at her career, which involved both starring in and producing her films. So that's just a sample of the wonderful things that happen here. You really get a broad exposure to all aspects of silent cinema, and there are so many aspects to cover that's a very helpful thing. So basically, I just can't say enough good things about this festival, and thankful to Aaron for providing a forum for people to talk about this. It's a wonderful thing, and I highly recommend it to anyone who has even the least interest, because your interest is bound to grow. Allora, ciao di Pordenone, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.